In Master Qian's family, one tragedy follows another. First his son dies, then someone murders his daughter. A local police officer named Liang tries to investigate the crime, but his incompetence gets in the way at every turn. Fortunately, these deaths attract the attention of a Taoist master known as Uncle Nine, who, together with his disciples, launches his own investigation. Contemporary Chinese internet cinema has far more in common with classic Hong Kong films of the 1980s and 1990s than with mainland theatrical filmmaking. Movies made for online streaming platforms actively capitalize on Chinese audiences' nostalgia for the golden age of Hong Kong cinema, reviving stylistic trends from that era. Uncle Nine, specifically, is a new reincarnation of the Taoist master character, famously played by Lam Qingying. His first full-fledged appearance in cinema can be traced to the classic 1985 Hong Kong supernatural action film, Mr. Vampire, which was followed by a flood of sequels, reboots, imitators, and outright clones. The popularity of this trend faded by the mid-1990s, but a quarter century later it was rediscovered by mainland Chinese online filmmakers. They revived the formula and reconstructed Lam Qingying's screen persona, an aging yet still agile ritual master, recognizable by his gray hair and thick, dramatically flared eyebrows. Chinese director, producer, and actor Yao Rui latched onto this concept in the early 2000s. In 2021, he released 2 films in the Uncle Nine cycle, with the title role played by Chinese actor Liu Tiezhu. Now, 5 years later, another entry has joined the series, Zhong Kui Returns, in which Uncle Nine is played by a different actor, Xing Qi-Xin. The earlier Uncle Nine films by Yao Rui hardly looked like blockbusters, but Zhong Kui Returns represents an even sharper drop in quality. Across the board, from the script and overall dramaturgy to the makeup, set design, and action choreography. The film runs for less than 70 minutes, which is usually a sign of a project that was saved in the editing room by cutting anything that didn't work or slowed the pace. The poorly concealed traces of the editor's scissors are visible throughout, and despite the supposedly extremely simple plot, it's remarkably hard to follow what's going on, if only because the movie features 2 different characters named Master Xian whose daughters are murdered, and the filmmakers have no intention of stopping to explain who is related to whom. Having sacrificed narrative clarity, the creators place their bet on comedy, primarily carried by the character Yue Dong-Feng, a bumbling police officer who is constantly harassed by his shrewish sister-in-law. Yue is a fine comic performer and does a decent job in a role that, in 1980s Hong Kong cinema, was often played by Billy Lau. However, the actual quality of the humor in Zhong Kui Returns leaves much to be desired. There are no fully formed comic situations or memorable gags, just a capable actor instructed to clown around at every opportunity. But facial mugging alone can only take you so far. Even the most gifted comedian needs material worthy of their talent. The film also includes a nominal mystery, who is behind the bizarre murders, but the filmmakers don't even try to hide the villain, showing him in full from the very first scenes. As a result, the entire movie is spent simply waiting to be told who he is and why he's killing people. The eventual explanation puts everything in its proper place, but it fails to impress, just like the film's attempts at building suspense or its fight scenes, which are extremely low budget in execution and very brief. Sadly, the 2025 incarnation of Uncle Nine doesn't hold up even against the worst Mr. Vampire knockoffs from the 1980s and 1990s. It's not that this film has no right to exist, but it certainly doesn't deserve our attention,